What happens when one of the wildest comedians alive teams up with one of the most powerful rappers in the game to call out two of hip-hop's biggest names? You get a scandal so messy, it makes the Kardashians look like they're attending Sunday school. Yes, you heard that right. Katt Williams is officially standing with Nicki Minaj after she exposed Jay-Z and Cardi B, and the internet has been in full-blown meltdown ever since. Picture this. Nicki drops bombshell allegations so heavy they could sink a yacht, claiming there's an evil plan brewing behind the scenes of rap's elite circle. The kind of plan that sounds like it was written by Shonda Rhimes after 5 Red Bulls. And just when the world thought she'd be left to fight alone, who steps in? None other than Katt Williams, the man who roasts Hollywood hypocrisy for breakfast. The internet didn't just react, it imploded. Fans are screaming, critics are foaming, and memes are spreading like wildfire. Suddenly, Jay-Z and Cardi B aren't just rappers. They're painted as villains in a hip-hop Marvel movie, and Nicki? She's the heroine with Katt Williams riding shotgun. And trust me, this is only the beginning. When Nicki Minaj speaks, the internet listens. But when Nicki Minaj exposes, the internet doesn't just listen, it collapses like a Jenga tower in a hurricane. And this time, she didn't just toss shade, she set the whole industry on fire. Forget petty subtweets, forget sneaky barbs in a verse. Nicki dropped a bomb straight out of a scandal playbook, calling out none other than Jay-Z and Cardi B for allegedly running what she described as an evil plan behind the curtains of hip-hop. Now, let's pause. Jay-Z, the billionaire mogul who treats boardrooms like recording studios, accused of pulling strings in some dark agenda? And Cardi B, the Grammy-winning queen of say it loud even if it's crazy, tied up in the same accusation? That's not just messy, it's a cultural earthquake. That's like finding out Mickey Mouse has a side hustle as a mafia boss. Nobody saw this one coming. And yet, at the same time, everyone kind of did. Because when it comes to rap's upper tier, conspiracy theories are practically a side genre. Nicki Minaj didn't mince words. She laid it out like a dinner plate at Thanksgiving. Accusations of manipulation, sabotage, and backroom deals designed to control who gets crowned in the industry and who gets shoved into the shadows. Fans immediately branded it the Rap Illuminati leak, because of course they did. The Barbs, the most loyal fanbase this side of the Bayhive, went to war, filling timelines with hashtags like Nicki told the truth and a down with the plan. And just when it seemed like Nicki was standing alone against the industry juggernauts, here comes Katt Williams, swooping in like the unpredictable uncle at Thanksgiving, who finally says what everyone's been whispering. Katt didn't just stand with Nicki, he doubled down. He backed her like a hype man at a rap battle, tossing in his own signature verbal Molotov cocktails aimed squarely at the Hollywood and hip-hop elites. This is Katt Williams we're talking about. The man who roasted Oprah, Steve Harvey, and Kevin Hart without flinching. The man who can turn a comedy special into a courtroom deposition against the entertainment industry. When Katt co-signs your expose, it's not just support, it's confirmation in the eyes of fans. Because if there's anyone who loves pulling skeletons out of Hollywood's walk-in closet, it's Katt Williams. The internet reacted like a lit match dropped in a gas station. One half of Twitter screamed, "Nicki and Katt versus the industry, let's go!" While the other half panicked, oh no, they're really about to start a war. Memes exploded instantly. Nicki photoshopped as Wonder Woman, Katt Williams as her sidekick holding a microphone like a sword, with Jay-Z and Cardi edited as Marvel villains in the background. Savage doesn't even begin to cover it. And then came the receipts. The Barbs unearthed old clips of Jay-Z making cryptic business comments, and suddenly they were framed as part of the plan. Cardi's old interviews got dragged back up too, with fans dissecting every eyebrow raise and side glance like it was the Zapruder film. Did Cardi admit to something? Did Jay-Z smirk too hard when asked about female rappers? The internet became one giant conspiracy lab, and everyone was wearing a white coat. Of course, not everyone was buying it. Critics accused Nicki of stirring chaos for attention, pointing out the conveniently timed scandal right before her next project drops. "She's just marketing," scoffed one blog. But those critiques got drowned out by the sheer noise of the spectacle. Because whether you believed Nicki or not, the drama was too delicious to ignore. Meanwhile, Cardi B's fans weren't having it. They launched hashtags of their own, accusing Nicki of lying and dragging Katt Williams into irrelevant beef. One tweet read, "Nicki always crying wolf? Now Katt Williams think he in the Avengers." The comment sections turned into gladiator arenas, with Barb's and Cardi's Barty gang throwing digital spears at each other. Screenshots, memes, and insults flew faster than a reality show drink toss. And Jay-Z? Oh, the reactions to Jay-Z were priceless. The man has spent decades building an image as untouchable, rap's billionaire chess master. Suddenly, he's trending with Evil Plan attached to his name. Fans joked, Jay-Z probably somewhere sipping wine with Beyoncé, laughing at y'all. Another viral tweet said, Jay-Z don't even log into Twitter and still somehow gets dragged into Hunger Games drama. But let's not pretend this was all just jokes. The idea that hip-hop's upper elite might be engineering careers behind the scenes struck a nerve. Fans began listing rappers who mysteriously fell off or suddenly blew up, connecting dots that may or may not exist. Entire Reddit threads spun theories about Jay-Z gatekeeping and Cardi playing the role of industry plant deluxe. It was chaos dressed up as research, but it fed into the wildfire Nicki and Katt had lit. And the timing? Too perfect. Katt Williams had already been trending for his no-filter interviews, dragging half of Hollywood into the mud. So, when he linked arms with Nicki Minaj in this battle, it wasn't just a team-up, it was a cultural crossover event. Think Avengers. But instead of saving the world, they're torching the reputations of music's most powerful names. Within 24 hours, Nicki and Katt was trending worldwide. Instagram Lives dissected every angle. YouTubers pumped out 10-minute breakdowns with titles like Nicki vs. Jay-Z and Cardi B, The Evil Plan Explained. TikTok went wild with edits, splicing Nicki's clips with Katt's comedy rants set to dramatic background music. The internet didn't just consume the scandal, it produced spin-offs, sequels, and fan fiction. For Nicki, this wasn't just another beef. It was her asserting herself as the unshakable queen of controversy. And with Katt Williams in her corner, the entire saga gained the credibility of a stand-up roast turned congressional hearing. Jay-Z and Cardi weren't just rivals, they were suddenly painted as the architects of a shady empire, while Nicki positioned herself as the whistleblower and Katt as the truth-teller backing her up. And whether you loved her or hated her, one thing was undeniable. Nicki Minaj had just hijacked the culture again. If Nicki Minaj lighting the match was shocking, and Katt Williams pouring gasoline on it was outrageous, the reaction from the celebrity world was nothing short of nuclear. The second Nicki's Evil Plan accusations hit the net, and Katt co-signed them, the industry scrambled like ants at a picnic. First came the subtweets. Celebrities never call names directly. They drop vague, shady quotes and let the internet connect the dots. Within hours, rappers and influencers posted cryptic lines like, "Everybody's screaming real, but working with snakes," and "Hollywood is smoke and mirrors." No tags, no names, but everyone knew exactly who they were aiming at. Fans screenshot every post, slapped side-by-side captions, and turned Twitter into a live battlefield. But some weren't hiding behind metaphors. They went all in. One mid-tier rapper on Instagram Live outright said, "Nicki ain't lying. These people do play chess with artists' lives." Boom. Clip goes viral. Another reality star jumped in, ranting on TikTok, "Cardi is industry made, everybody knows it. Y'all just scared to say it." Suddenly, people who hadn't been relevant in years were trending, hitching their wagons to the chaos like it was Coachella. And then, the big bombshell, 50 Cent decided to weigh in. Of course he did. This man lives for internet mess. 50 reposted a meme of Nicki and Katt as Bonnie and Clyde with the caption, "They about to shut the game down. Fans lost it." The king of trolling himself co-signing the drama? That was like adding jet fuel to an already out-of-control fire. Meanwhile, Cardi B wasn't sitting quietly. She's never been the type to let accusations fly without clapping back. Without naming Nicki directly, she posted on X, Twitter, "People love making up lies when their time is up. Focus on yourself, not me." Instantly, Barb's and Barty gang flooded the comments. Barb's clowned her, calling it damage control. Barty fans clapped back, dragging Nicki's age, her fan base, and even Katt Williams' past arrests. It wasn't just a feud anymore, it was a digital civil war. Jay-Z, on the other hand, played it cool, at least on the surface. No tweets, no rants, no messy interviews, but the silence made it worse. Fans turned his lack of response into a meme machine. One viral TikTok had Jay-Z photoshopped as a mafia boss, sipping wine in silence while chaos erupted around him. Another tweet said, "Jay-Z's somewhere chilling with Beyoncé, plotting the next chess move while y'all fight." The internet painted him as the puppet master, the godfather of the plan, and the more he stayed quiet, the stronger that narrative grew. And let's not forget the memes. Oh, the memes! Nicki and Katt were photoshopped onto the Avengers posters, with captions like, "Infinity Beef, Endgame." Cardi B was edited as a cartoon villain twirling her hair. Jay-Z as Thanos collecting rappers' careers like infinity stones. The creativity was ruthless. Someone even made a fake trailer for The Evil Plan, a Netflix documentary, splicing together old interview clips of Jay-Z, Cardi, Nicki, and Katt, complete with ominous music. Millions of views in hours. But it wasn't all jokes. Some fans took it dead serious. Entire Reddit threads broke down Nicki's claims like investigative journalism. Posts with titles like "Proof Jay-Z controls streaming numbers" and "Is Cardi B an industry plant?" Let's examine flooded forums. Amateur analysts charted graphs, highlighted old label deals, and treated Nicki's words like leaked FBI files. Katt's name being attached only made it worse, because fans trust him to say what others are too scared to. As the chaos grew, more celebrities picked sides. A famous female rapper posted, "Protect Nicki at all costs. She's been telling the truth for years." Fans immediately crowned her brave. Meanwhile, a male pop star subtly liked a tweet shading Cardi, and that alone became breaking news. Screenshots circulated with the urgency of leaked government documents. Every like, every follow, every unfollow was dissected as evidence. The music industry, meanwhile, scrambled. Insiders whispered that big label execs were furious. Nicki's accusations weren't just gossip. They were aimed straight at the heart of the machine. The whispers claimed meetings were happening behind closed doors to control the narrative, which, ironically, only made the evil plan theory feel more real to fans. You couldn't script irony like this. And then came the ultimate twist. Nicki hinted she had more to reveal. During a live stream, she smirked and said, "What I said was only the beginning. Y'all don't even know the half." That one line broke the internet harder than a Kardashian pregnancy announcement. Fans spammed timelines with "Drop the files, queen." Memes of Nicki holding folders labeled secrets flooded feeds. Everyone was waiting for part 2, and Katt Williams was already hyping it up in interviews, saying, "Nicki telling the truth, trust me, I seen worse." At this point, the drama wasn't just trending, it had turned into a cultural phenomenon. Talk shows debated it. Podcasts turned it into multi-episode breakdowns. Even mainstream news outlets dipped in, with anchors awkwardly summarizing, "Rapper Nicki Minaj claims fellow artists Jay-Z and Cardi B are involved in an evil plan." Watching news anchors try to keep a straight face saying "evil plan" was comedy gold in itself. The internet outrage was relentless. Fans started demanding answers, tweeting at Jay-Z and Cardi directly. "Y'all gonna respond or nah?" Some even claimed artists' careers depended on this drama, like the future of rap itself was riding on whether Nicki and Katt were telling the truth. Extreme? Sure. But the internet thrives on extremes. And through it all, Nicki stayed loud, Cardi stayed defensive, Jay-Z stayed silent, and Katt? He stayed messy, making jokes in interviews about how evil plans are just Tuesday meetings in Hollywood. The stage was set, the war lines drawn, and the fallout? Oh, that was only beginning. The dust was thick, the flames still burning, but one thing was clear: the Nicki Minaj versus Jay-Z and Cardi B evil plan scandal wasn't going away. What began as a bombshell statement and Katt Williams' unfiltered support had spiraled into a cultural hurricane, and the aftermath was even wilder than the explosion itself. First, the reputations. Nicki Minaj's stock went through the roof, not musically, but in terms of cultural dominance. People who had written her off as past her prime suddenly realized she still held the internet in a chokehold. Whether you believed her claims or not, you couldn't escape her name. Talk shows, gossip blogs, Twitter threads, YouTube reactions. Everyone had an opinion about Nicki. She wasn't just a rapper anymore. She was a headline generator, a whistleblower, and a one-woman content machine. For Katt Williams, the scandal was a career revival on steroids. Already known for torching Hollywood with truth bombs, his alignment with Nicki gave him a whole new platform. Clips of him defending her racked up millions of views. Memes labeled him the industry truth teller. Suddenly, Katt wasn't just a comedian. He was a prophet with a microphone. The man who had once been written off as too controversial was now the face of courage in a culture obsessed with tea. Jay-Z's reputation, though? Complicated? On one hand, his silence worked in his favor. The mogul didn't dignify the chaos with a response, letting his aura of billionaire detachment shield him from the mess. On the other hand, that same silence fueled the puppet master narrative. Fans plastered his face onto mafia boss edits, memes called him the godfather of rap, and conspiracy threads turned him into a cartoon villain. Whether he cared or not, Jay-Z was trending for all the wrong reasons, and his empire suddenly looked less like an untouchable castle and more like a fortress under siege. And then there was Cardi B. Outspoken as always, she couldn't resist clapping back. But every tweet, every rant, every denial seemed to only make things worse. Fans screenshotted her posts, dissected her words, and turned her frustration into punchlines. Memes compared her responses to throwing water on a grease fire. Others joked she was auditioning for WWE with how defensive she sounded. Her diehard fans defended her, of course, but the narrative was out of her hands. In the court of public opinion, Nicki and Katt had already framed her as part of something shady, and Cardi was forced to play defense on a battlefield she never controlled. The industry, meanwhile, was rattled. Artists who normally steered clear of Nicki's orbit suddenly grew cautious. Some quietly unfollowed Cardi, others accidentally liked Nicki's posts. Collaborations got whispered about being paused, brands hesitated to attach themselves, and executives were reportedly scrambling behind the scenes to make sure their names weren't next on Katt Williams' hit list. And the fans, they weren't letting this die. The Barbs launched campaigns demanding investigations into industry corruption. Reddit sleuths built entire dossiers claiming to prove Nicki's case. TikTok was drowning in edits comparing old Nicki interviews to her current statements, painting her as a Cassandra-like figure whose warnings had been ignored until now. On the flip side, Cardi's Barty gang fought tooth and nail to defend her, spamming every Nicki-related post with clown emojis and accusations of jealousy. The fan war was relentless, a digital civil war that spilled into every platform. But the cultural impact went beyond stans and memes. Nicki's expose tapped into a deeper paranoia about fame itself. The idea that rap's biggest stars were pawns in a bigger game resonated with audiences who already suspected the industry was rigged. Her words gave shape to what fans had whispered for years, that deals, awards, and careers weren't built on talent alone, but on backroom deals and shady alliances. Suddenly, the evil plan wasn't just Nicki's theory, it was a cultural talking point. Podcasts ran multi-part, series breaking down the system, YouTubers with conspiracy-themed. Channels made 10-hour deep dives linking Jay-Z's business empire to everything from streaming algorithms to award show politics. Even casual fans started looking sideways at the charts, wondering if their favorite artists were chosen or blacklisted. Nicki had cracked open Pandora's box, and Katt Williams was laughing maniacally beside her. And let's talk about the memes one last time, because they weren't just funny, they were fuel. Nicki and Katt became the internet's favorite unlikely duo. Edits showed them as Batman and Robin, Bonnie and Clyde, even Shrek and Donkey. One viral post read, "Nicki and Katt aren't exposing the industry, they are the industry now." The sheer creativity was unmatched, and every meme only made the scandal more inescapable. As days turned to weeks, the hype cooled slightly, but the damage was done. The reputations of Jay-Z and Cardi had been dented, whether fairly or not. Nicki's dominance was reasserted, proving she could still hijack the culture anytime she wanted. And Katt Williams had secured his role as the loud, fearless sidekick the internet didn't know it needed. The biggest takeaway? The scandal wasn't about proof, it was about narrative. Whether Nicki had evidence or not, whether the evil plan was real or just smoke, the internet believed in the story. And in today's world, the story is more powerful than the truth. So what's next? That's the question keeping fans glued to their phones. Will Nicki drop the so-called receipts she teased? Will Katt go on another viral rant? Will Jay-Z finally break his silence? Or will Beyoncé step in with a surgical PR strike? And will Cardi manage to turn the narrative around? Or will this scandal cling to her like glitter you can't wash off? Nobody knows for sure, and that's the beauty of it. The scandal isn't over, it's evolving, because in hip-hop the drama never dies. It just reloads for the next season. Nicki and Katt versus Jay-Z and Cardi wasn't just beef. It was theater. It was reality TV disguised as real life. And for fans, it was the perfect blend of chaos, comedy, and controversy. The culture won't forget this one anytime soon. And there you have it, folks. Nicki Minaj drops the bomb, Katt Williams backs her up, and suddenly Jay-Z and Cardi B are trending as the villains in hip-hop's messiest Marvel movie. This wasn't just a beef. This was a cultural earthquake, a meme factory, and the kind of chaos that proves one thing. In the rap game, scandals don't die. They multiply, but now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think Nicki really exposed the truth about an evil plan? Or is this just another chapter in the never-ending soap opera we call hip-hop? Drop your wildest theories in the comments. I want to see conspiracy threads longer than Jay-Z's business portfolio. And while you're down there typing, don't just scroll like you're lurking in a group chat you weren't invited to. Smash that like button like it owes you rent. Hit subscribe harder than Cardi hits reply when someone shades her on Twitter. And ring the notification bell like you're Nicki about to drop a diss track at midnight. Because trust me, the scandals don't stop here. Tomorrow's mess will make today's look like a Disney Channel special, and Scandal Spark will be right here serving it hotter, messier, and wilder than anyone else. This isn't just news, it's drama therapy. It's reality TV without the commercial breaks. It's Scandal Spark, the only place where chaos is currency, exaggeration is art. And your favorite celebrity's downfall is our headline of the day, so lock in, stay tuned, and remember, in this game, the tea is always boiling and will keep pouring until the internet explodes. Scandal Spark, where the mess never rests.